I never should have taken the detour. The map showed a shortcut, a faded road cutting through the mountains, but halfway down it, the asphalt vanished. Dirt and gravel took its place, and the trees leaned closer as if the forest wanted me swallowed. My fuel gauge glared at me 1 bar. No choice but forward. That's when I saw it. A village tucked in the valley, silent under the weight of night. The houses were old stone cottages, roofs sagging, windows blacked out. Not a single light burned, not even from a lantern. Yet the place didn't look abandoned. The doors were shut. The cobblestone paths were swept clean. It looked waiting. I parked at the edge and stepped out. The air was colder here, unnaturally so. My breath fogged, though it wasn't winter. A faint metallic tang clung to the wind like rust or old blood. The silence was wrong. Villages breathe, even at night. Dogs bark, floors creak, someone coughs. But here, nothing. Not a cricket, not an owl. Only my footsteps echoing against the stones. I told myself I'd just find someone, ask about gas, and leave. But the further I walked, the heavier the air grew. The houses leaned inward, their windows staring down like dead eyes. My flashlight swept past one, and I froze. Behind the glass, pale faces. Dozens. They weren't moving, weren't blinking. Just watching me. I staggered back, but when I turned the light again, the window was empty. My heart hammered. I kept walking, faster now, almost running. A path led to a church at the center of the village. Its bell tower loomed against the night sky, and the doors were slightly open, yawning wide like a mouth. Inside smelled of mildew and copper. My light skimmed over cracked pews, torn hymn books, and the altar dark stains across the cloth. Then I heard it. A shuffle from the shadows behind the altar. I whispered, "Hello?" My voice sounded too small, too thin. Something answered, not words breathing. Slow, deliberate, wet. My beam caught movement. A figure unfolded from the darkness, impossibly tall, joints bending wrong. Its skin was gray, stretched thin over sharp bones. Its mouth opened wider than it should, revealing teeth like needles, far too many, dripping with something black. I stumbled back, knocking over a pew. The sound echoed through the church, and instantly, the silence broke. From outside, I heard doors slamming open, windows breaking. Dozens of feet on cobblestone. The villagers. They weren't hiding. They were waiting. And now, they were coming. The thing at the altar grinned, teeth glistening. Its voice crawled into my ears, thick and sweet like poison. You brought blood. And then the church doors burst open. Pale figures flooded in, eyes glowing faintly red. Every one of them smiling, every one of them hungry. The villagers closed in, their eyes glowing like embers in the dark. I stumbled backward as their pale hands reached for me, clawing the air, smiles fixed and ravenous. I bolted down the aisle, knocking over pews as I ran. The wooden doors slammed shut behind me with a weight that felt unnatural, cutting off their hissed laughter. My lungs burned as I sprinted into the streets. The village was awake now. Every door stood open, every window crawling with pale faces. They didn't chase right away. They watched, silent, patient. I ducked into an alley, gasping for air. That's when I felt it something dripping on me. Thick, warm. I looked up. A man hung upside down from the rafters, his throat torn open. His skin was drained to parchment, veins collapsed, eyes frozen in terror. His mouth stretched in a scream that had never ended. I staggered away, bile rising, and backed into something. A little girl, or what should have been one. She stood barely to my waist, hair tangled, dress ragged. Her porcelain skin cracked, her lips split, and her eyes glowed red like coals. She smiled, revealing teeth too sharp and too many. "Stay," she whispered, her voice layered childlike and impossibly deep. "Stay and feed." I shoved past her and ran. The streets twisted, looping me back to the same square again and again. No matter the path, the church loomed ahead. The village wasn't meant to leave. It was a trap. The bell tolled suddenly, though no rope stirred it. The sound was deep, metallic, shaking the stones beneath me. At the toll, the villagers moved. Not running, but gliding, their feet brushing the ground. One fled into the church tower. The spiral stairwell was slick underfoot, smeared with streaks of blood. My flashlight caught handprints along the stone, hundreds of them, some impossibly small. At the top, I burst into the bell chamber. The massive bell swayed, though no wind stirred. Beside it stood a tall gray figure, its grin splitting wider as it tilted its head. "You smell of fear," it said, voice heavy and low. "The sweetest vintage." The villagers crowded the stairs below, pale hands gripping stone as they climbed. Their hiss rose, vibrating through my chest. I backed to the open window. The drop promised death, yet the figure stepped closer, teeth glinting. "Choose," it whispered. "Join us or fall." The villagers reached the chamber, red eyes burning in the dark. My chest heaved, muscles trembling. I had seconds. Then the bell tolled again, deafening, shaking the tower. The gray figure froze, head jerking sharply. The villagers recoiled like struck animals. From the shadows beyond the bell, another shape emerged. Not pale, not human. Its eyes burned like fire, its voice cutting through the night like steel on stone. "You have taken too many." The villagers shrieked. The gray figure snarled, grin twisting with fury, and I realized terror and relief colliding. I wasn't the only prey in this village tonight. A fiery-eyed figure stepped into the chamber, taller than any man, its body cloaked in smoke, ember-like veins pulsing beneath charred skin. The air grew heavy, crackling with heat, as if the tower itself held its breath. The gray vampire hissed, grin twisting feral. "This is not your place." The figure's voice was deep, like stone grinding. "It was mine before you stole it." The villagers shrieked, clutching their heads. Some crumbled into dust on the stairs, their bodies unable to withstand the clash of powers. Others wailed and fled into the streets. For the first time since entering this cursed place, they weren't looking at me. They were terrified of something else. The bell tolled again, though no hand touched it. The sound cracked the air like thunder. The gray vampire lunged, limbs bending too far, mouth splitting wider than a skull should allow. The impact shook the tower. Stones fell, dust filled the chamber. I ducked as claws slashed and embers flared. The two collided with force that didn't belong to this world. The bell rang faster, each toll rattling my bones. Then I realized the bell wasn't a weapon. It was a lock. Every toll wasn't calling the villagers. It was keeping something sealed. Cracks split the walls. The floor buckled. The church groaned as if alive, beams snapping, glass bursting outward. The fiery figure pinned the vampire against the bell, pressing its hand into its chest. "You hunger endlessly," it said, "but hunger is a chain. Tonight, your feast ends." With a roar, it shoved the gray thing into the bell. The bronze warped, swallowing its screaming face like molten wax. The glow from the figure's eyes seared across the chamber. Then the bell rang one final time. The sound was deeper, final, the kind that settled in your marrow. When it faded, the vampire was gone, the villagers too. Every pale face, every hiss, every whisper of hunger vanished into silence. The fiery figure turned toward me. Its gaze burned, yet I felt no heat, only weight. "You should not have come," it said, voice quieter, heavy with sorrow. This place was not made for the living. It survives because fools keep stumbling in, feeding it with fear. I swallowed hard. Then why save me? I didn't save you. I saved balance. It placed a charred hand against my forehead. My vision went black. When I opened my eyes, I was lying on a dirt road at the forest's edge. The village was gone. No church, no houses. Only a field of dead grass and an old stone bell, half buried in the soil. I stumbled to my feet. My phone was dead. My watch shattered. But the strangest thing wasn't where I was. It was what I felt. I wasn't thirsty, not hungry, not tired, just hollow, as if something had been scooped out of me. When I returned to civilization days later, people stared like I was wrong. My reflection didn't move quite right. My eyes caught the light in ways they shouldn't. The fiery figure was right. It didn't save me. It changed me.